Good evening. Welcome to Real Talk with R.A.G.E. My name is Antoine Butler, also known as DJ Dap, and we have a very interesting show for you tonight. Today we'll be bringing on Demond Drummer. We're bringing him back as a guest, though, to talk about his work with R.A.G.E, Englewood Codes, and now his newest project, Coder Space. The purpose of this show is to have real conversations with many of the people who are doing good work in Englewood. This show is a little different from the Englewood call because our conversations, we tend to want to go a little deeper than what the Englewood call would go. So let's get to the formalities about R.A.G.E. The Resident Association of Greater Englewood. You can contact us at rageenglewood.org. Our phone number is 866-845-1032. And our email is joinrage@gmail.com. You can also follow us on social media. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and also Facebook. What is R.A.G.E? R.A.G.E was founded in November of 2010. We are a resident-driven association established to build relationships with fellow residents, Englewood's public officials, business owners, and other organizations. We are strictly an asset-based grassroots organization that strategizes to address community problems and works to create tangible solutions. Our mission is to mobilize people and resources to force change in the community by breaking down barriers in communication and promoting positivity through solution-based approaches. We also have 6 village meetings a year. Our next one will be July the 19th, and the time will be from 6 to 8, and the location will be to be announced. Who are members of R.A.G.E? Well, residents who reside in all wards of Greater Englewood. We also have non-residents who support our mission. Okay, so we usually have, Demond has been on Real Talk with R.A.G.E as my co-host a few times now. And we felt like it was just time to bring him back as a guest so people can learn more about him. He's a dynamic guy. He's funny, and he's interesting guy. He's very smart and intelligent also. I know, right? You got me laughing. All right, we're gonna welcome Demond Drummer to the show. How you doing, Demond? Stop! Don't start making me laugh.
Funny and interesting.
Yeah, I know, right?
I wasn't expecting.
I want to tell you a little bit about Demond. Demond is an alumnus of Morehouse College. He's also a founding member of the Resident Association of Greater Englewood. He's also the founder of Coder Space and also was a field organizer for the Barack Obama's primary campaign in South Carolina. He worked as a tech organizer at Teamwork Englewood, where he facilitated digital leadership trainings with block clubs, parent leaders, and business owners. His projects include Englewood Codes, a summer youth code camp, and largelots.org, a community-driven effort to reclaim city-owned lots. We are here with Demond Drummer. How you doing tonight, brother?
Doing well. I'm not sure if this is a demotion. I was used to being a co-host, and now I'm a guest. Is that? I don't know how to understand that.
you are one of the most interesting people we've ever had on the show. Before we get started, this quote by Howard Thurman. What does it mean to you?
There is some lore says that so I went to Morehouse. Martin Luther King went to Morehouse too, and I take Martin Luther King to be an embodiment, like a personification of all these nameless people.
Okay.
A lot of women too, who led the change that transformed this country during that era. But they said whenever he was arrested, there were 2 books in his briefcase. It was the Bible and Howard Thurman's Jesus and the Disinherited. Howard Thurman was also an alumnus of Morehouse College, a Christian mystic who always had a sense of the divine. And this quote is attributed to him. He never wrote it down.
Really?
They say it was spoken during an interview. And what this quote means to me is you don't start with the problem, you start with yourself. Right? You don't look at a problem to solve. Why? Because I think we're all here to do something, which means that we are all part of the solution to whatever problems we might see. So I look at the unemployment crisis. All the data says that more than half of the black men in the city of Chicago that are between the ages of 18 and 24, and actually more particularly ages 20 to 24, 53% are unemployed. That's a big problem.
Yeah, that's a problem.
But I don't start there, and I've never started there. I have a passion for technology and working with youth and young people, and that's what makes me come alive. And so I teach young people how to code because that's what makes me come alive. And in so doing, I'm just a small piece of the solution to that bigger problem.
Okay. We also want our viewers to learn a little bit more about you. So tell us your story and how you became affiliated with R.A.G.E.
Yep. So
as one of the co-founders, actually.
It's kind of interesting. I'm an Army brat. I was born in Virginia, spent my childhood in Kansas, Texas, Panama, not in that order. I went to college in Georgia, and then came to Chicago for grad school. And I lived in Hyde Park for about 3 to 4 years.
Okay.
And left, went on the Obama campaign, came back. And I literally was a consultant for a neighborhood development organization that was downtown. And I was working as a consultant, and just through my work with youth and the YMCA, I just had more contacts in Englewood than anybody else in the room.
Oh, wow.
And this just kept happening year after year. I did my internship for my graduate degree in Englewood, and so I just had more contacts than anybody else. So I was like, I guess I'll take Englewood as my neighborhood.
Okay.
And then I found a cheap apartment near the Red Line. I was really going for cheap rent near the Red Line. You know where the new houses are? Yeah. Rented a basement apartment that wasn't even on the market. Literally worked through contacts to find myself a unit. And I just stayed ever since. Englewood is the only neighborhood that I've really known as a neighborhood. I was an Army brat. Every 2 years I was moving.
Oh, wow.
So I've been in Englewood longer than I lived in any one place in my entire life.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. We have a caller. Caller, you're on the air with Real Talk with R.A.G.E. Hello, caller? No caller?
Maybe they were calling for the etiquette show before. Maybe that was a late caller.
So. Yeah. Okay, tell us a little bit about your involvement with the
I'm on the line now.
Oh, they are on the line?
Yes, I'm on the line now. I made a point on the last show about one of the problems that we have in the city of Chicago, in particular, especially when it comes to blacks and brown. We dealing with this racism when certain people are controlling resources. And I made a point on the last show where the city of Chicago did a study. I hope you guys know the study I'm talking about, a 15-year study where it shows how blacks and browns have been locked out of the trade union. And we're talking about over $1 billion in salaries. And when you're talking about $1 billion, that could have had a definitely good impact. And when you don't have people working and you have other people working instead of people that have to be black and brown, and they being somehow, the system has not allowed them their fair share of resources, that's the reason why we have certain problems in the city of Chicago, not because they didn't use the right salad fork. And the President of the United States brought this up. This is what's driving the crime when people are not working. They're not working, they go do something else. They go either steal or sell drugs or something.
Well, I mean, I'm a firm believer in thanks for your call also. I'm a firm believer in sometimes you got to create your own job.
That's right.
Sometimes you can't wait for somebody to give you a job. You might have to just create your own job. You're going to have to work harder at it, but it's yours. And once you own it, you will work a little harder with a smile on your face. And that's just my opinion, What do you think?
I completely agree. This is supposed to be my interview, but no, that was the point. I completely agree. Dap, I completely agree. You know, take all the vacant buildings that we have in our neighborhood.
Right.
You know, when it comes to rehabbing those buildings, whoever owns that building decides who works in that building.
Right.
And, you know, I'll just leave it at that, right? So we don't have to transform, we don't have to un-racism white people, right? And fix the power structure.
Mm-hmm.
We must do that, but we don't have to wait till that happens in order to change some of the conditions that we see.
Right.
I think we are the ones we have been waiting for. I think I just got that off the site for the Englewood Enterprise Gallery. I love that. We're the ones we've been waiting for. That we just decide what we're going to do and we can do it, and can't nobody tell us we can't do it.
Exactly.
And what we do with the students that we teach to code is not about going to work at some company where they don't want you. It's about creating your own company. Because the number one employer, to the point of the caller, the number one employer of black people in America, outside of government, is other black people. They don't want to talk about that.
No, you're not going to hear about that. Let me ask you this. What does the term civic tech mean to you?
Civic tech.
Because I must admit, I'm not real, I'm more technical musically than I am computer savvy. But what does civic tech mean to you?
Yeah, so civic tech. So we did this project with R.A.G.E, the large lot project. It was R.A.G.E worked closely with homeowners and the city planners to create a pilot program to literally sell some of these city-owned vacant lots back to residents who wanted to reclaim them for public and private benefit. Right. And so, you know, people were getting denied left and right. You know, I know a story, you know, folk, like it was across the street or next door to the building that I own but don't live in, and all this other stuff, right? So we worked with the city to say, how do we expand the requirements for who can buy a lot, right? The types of lots that are purchasable on a block if you own property there. And so it was this great policy. And what happened? This is what, 2014? It was a great policy. It was a great, you know, resident association went out and did surveys and just validated that people actually would pay $1 to buy a lot. They actually had lots they wanted to buy. The city was like, let's go. So there was this pilot in Englewood, and the program was amazing and very simple, but the web page of the program that the program lived on, like the city web page, was very complicated and hard to decipher the steps on applying for one of these lots. So what we did when I was at Teamwork Englewood, we hired a web developer, DataMade. They're downtown at 1871, and we pretty much said we need a simple map to take these city-owned lots, put it on a map, and have people type in their address, and it zooms in on their block, and all the lots they could purchase are highlighted, and they click on a lot, get the PIN number, and then write that PIN number down in the application. They can apply.
Just simplified it.
It just simplified it, right? And so, to me, that's civic tech. Civic tech is mobilizing technology to achieve civic purpose, right? Wow. That's civic tech.
That's the actual definition?
That's my definition. That's my working definition based off of my experience, not something I read in a book, right? But that is, you know, that's the definition that emerges from the work I think that we did in Englewood. You know, we talked about that story in Silicon Valley. We talked about that story, you know, in New York. Like we were in Miami talking about, you know, that story of a policy solution and a technology solution that was created by the people of Englewood for the people of Englewood, and from that, the entire city of Chicago. That's innovation happening from the bottom up. Englewood giving a gift to the entire city of Chicago.
Wow.
As they would say, come holla back, right? So, anyway,
let's talk a little.
We're still on there.
Yeah, I know, right? We're going to talk about coding now. Now, you started Coder Space. Initially, what brung you to want to teach youth in Englewood, especially, how to code?
That's right. So my job as a tech organizer at Teamwork Englewood in 2010 was to train adults on basic digital literacy. It was part of a federal stimulus package for the recovery. You remember that recession that black people still going through, but the rest of the country's moved on from, right? But it was the recession. Everybody was concerned. So my job was to do digital literacy training, you know, for job seekers, parent leaders, small business owners. Just how do we use the web to build community and like advance, you know, our skills, get more customers, etc. So I'm teaching all these adults, you know, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting kind of bored teaching adults, and I like working with youth. So I was like, let's start teaching the young people some of this stuff, and they already know how to use the computers, so let's teach them how to not use the web, but build the web. So that was 2011. Took about 15 kids and taught them some basic HTML and CSS. And the next summer I didn't do it because we were doing the land use planning process I just mentioned. We were too busy doing something else, right? But this kid walks in my office on 63rd and Halstead and walks in and says, "Hey, I want to join that program where I can learn how to build a website." And I wasn't running the program that summer. And I didn't want to tell him no.
No, right.
Because I'm like,
right.
why would you tell a kid no who wants to learn how to code? And so I took him to the conference room with some used laptops, took him to the conference room at Teamwork Englewood, and he came with friends too.
Oh, wow.
Right. So I didn't want to like send these kids back into,
Exactly.
there's no opportunity here for you. Right. So took him to the conference room and I started teaching them like a little miniature lesson. I said, I got 30 minutes. I'm going to teach you as much as we can do in 30 minutes. 5 minutes into our lesson, when he was able to change the background of his webpage using code, he looked up from his laptop and asked a very simple question that changed my life. And that question was, it was like such an innocent young question. It was, can I do this as a job?
Wow.
That's what he asked. And what that question did for me was remind me that what the adults, the program that the adults had crafted, the funding streams that the adults create, completely ignore the potential and the promise of our young people. What do I mean? All of our youth development stuff really focuses on the youth being part of the problem.
Right.
We pathologize our youth, but we're not speaking to their potential. We're not speaking to their promise. So that kid saying, can I do this coding thing as a job, was like he did not know he could do it as a job. Is this a job? Yes, it is the biggest part of our economy now.
And
that's not the biggest part, but it's like
that pushed
becoming
your passion right there.
That's it. And so I had to. I don't even know his name. That young man changed my life.
Wow.
And so the next summer we did Englewood Codes. We crowdfunded it, got a lot of attention, and then the next summer took 4 of those kids from Englewood Codes, and they built a website for a local coffee shop, Kusanya Cafe, on 69th Street. And they took a rest. They're like, sure, the kids can build our site, right? Like, who's going to say that?
Yeah,
right?
I know.
And then
let's take the call. We got a caller.
Oh, okay.
I know we'll talk all day. Caller, you're on the air with Real Talk with R.A.G.E.
Breaking all
What's
the
your
rules.
question? Caller,
Yo, what's going on, man?
what's going on?
Hey, man, I'm checking y'all out. I just tuned in. And my topic lately, man, I don't know exactly what y'all speaking on, but I hear about I just heard about someone I know, that's close by, just bought a lot or whatever for $1. So that just kind of flew by me. And then I just tuned in and I hear y'all speaking on that and things of the community. So it's just like lately I've been, like you said, I just heard you just say something about how we can, basically relate, things to the younger crowd, to kind of get their attention, because, attention clouded by everything everything that's out here, aside of being hungry and, kind of being in a messed up position,
Right.
So it's like, me personally, I've just been trying to be humble with everybody I pass by. Like I just I'm from out west. I'm from the west side or whatever. I just rolled down a particular street that's kind of, that's known for everybody being out. And when I pull up on the corner, I see like 5, 6 guys standing there. Of course, they, if they not hustling, they look like they hustling.
Right.
Anyway, they out there, and then I see the kids right there playing jumper rope, running back and forth to the corner. So I spoke to those guys, and I was just like, we got to think about how we do what we do. Y'all out here, and if y'all not doing nothing, it look like it, and y'all got the kids out here, y'all know how things go. But it's like, even if I say something that they can relate to, it's kind of like you still kind of muted, because it's like everybody's selfish. Like, I don't really care about these kids,
Right,
so it's
right.
kind of giving me that type of idea that the end result is that we got to learn to care about each other.
Yeah.
So I think we got to be sociable with each other to go anywhere. First and foremost, we got to teach everybody, we got to teach the message to be sociable. We got to talk, break down the barriers, talk to each other. Stop being, like, man, I don't know you. You ain't family. You ain't nobody I know. You don't know nobody I know. So why am I speaking to you, or why you speaking to me? We got that type of attitude.
Yeah, that's, thank you for calling too, brother. I appreciate it. I tell my wife all the time when we go down south, it's a totally different person. I mean, I don't know if it's the south side in me, but I had to catch myself not mean mugging, people,
Right.
when I'm down south because they're so nice, and everybody's just like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? And it's very interesting that that you would say that because we have this conversation every time we head south. I got my Englewood face on and people are like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Like, and I'm like even the cats with, who, like you just said, you'll assume they were doing something wrong. And no, they're just as nice as everybody else. So, I appreciate your call, though, brother. Watch us every week. We're here every week.
Every week.
Oh, man, I'm going to do that, man. I'm just not hearing about the whole R.A.G.E movement, man. And I personally, whatever it is, particularly, if it's anything about these communities, man, and getting us woke up, man, I'm with it. Like, for instance, let me say this real quick. I don't want to hold y'all, but, like, for instance, I see it's like a catchphrase that they got on WGCI. I listen to them every morning. And it's a catchphrase I think they throw out there. And probably throughout the day period, he like, catch us tomorrow, so you can give us advice about somebody's situation or whatnot. And then at the end, before the little bit go off, he like, yeah, man, let's just tell these poor tormented souls something. Let's help these poor tormented souls get on with their life. That's exactly what he said.
Right.
And I know it. Mostly everybody that just fly by everybody. They don't peep that shit. Me, I peep it. I'm just like, hold on. It's like they, everybody working against us. Even people that look like us.
All right, we appreciate your
the
call.
Next person might not. I'm listening.
We appreciate your call, brother. Give us a call next week. All right.
I should have. Well, I know I appreciate that call. If the young man that he was talking about said we don't care about those kids over there, that's because we didn't care about them when they was kids.
Right. I mean, this all comes back to us.
I'm sorry, when they were kids. When Morehouse.
What is your? We got a couple of minutes on. I want you to in a minute or so. What is you hope to accomplish with CoderSpace?
So CoderSpace, what we do, we teach students how to code. They build websites for small businesses and organizations in the community on the South Side.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and so what we're doing is developing not only websites, we're developing talent to build the websites. Right. And what are the websites that we're building? These are small businesses, local organizations, a lot of black-owned businesses.
Right.
That's what we do. Right. So if you want, and I know we can't sell on CAN TV, but if you are a small business owner and are looking for a new website, we have young people that we're training to build you a new website. We have a new crop of 20 students coming in for the next 8 weeks over the summer. We're going to have 5 clients, and in the course of 8 weeks, they learn the basics of the coding languages that power the web, and by the end of those 8 weeks, they are building websites for clients. And after going through our program, they can earn stipends as they work for clients for money. And so that's what we do. And so our goal is to be a web firm that builds beautiful sites and churns out excellent talent, and that's what we do.
Listen, Demond Drummer, CoderSpace. Find them. We are the resident associate for program and partnership opportunities. Contact us at 773-658-9598 or contact Demond at coderspace.org.
That's right.
This is Real Talk with R.A.G.E. You can contact R.A.G.E. on our website at rageenglewood.org. You can call us at 866-845-1032. Or you can email us at joinrage@gmail.com. This is Real Talk with R.A.G.E. and thank you for watching. Good night.